What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at a bit of a buyer's guide for the upcoming Digimon trading card game. It is launching in a week, 10 days, depends when this video actually gets uploaded. And I have seen a lot of questions over on the Facebook group that basically amount to, wait, what do I need to buy and where can I buy it? Now, the where can I buy it is awkward, because this is all over in Japan. I'll give you a couple suggestions at the end, but the thing to remember is you're importing from Japan. All of this is essentially Japan only at the moment, and there are going to be differing places. Obviously, eBay will work quite nicely, but you might pay over the odds. Obviously, if you join the Facebook group, there may well be someone in there that can hook you up. If you've got friends in Japan, maybe hit them up. But it turns out I've got a good friend who's got a friend in Japan, and they wanted just a nice list of, right, what do I actually need to look for? Consider this that list. Now, the big things which are going to be coming out in the near future is the free starter decks, the red starter deck, the yellow starter deck, and the blue starter deck. Their official release date is the 24th of April over in Japan. It is 10 days from when I record it. Hopefully 9 from when I upload it, but we never really know what's going to be going on with these uploads. News might happen. We'll wait and see. And there are 3 different versions to get, and they are extremely cheap. These are retailing for 500 yen. Now, for those of you that don't speak Japanese money all that fluently, 500 yen is coming somewhere in the region of about $4.65 or £3.71. These are exceedingly cheap starter decks. But these are, to use a business term, these are loss leaders. These are not products on which Bandai are expecting to make a huge amount of money. These are products that Bandai are using you to get hooked on the game and then sell you lots more cards in the future after that. These are the bait, so to speak, and working very well, I might add. Now, there are 3 different ones of them. They're all coming out on the 24th of April. Which ones do you need? It's entirely up to you. I have done 30 minutes of gameplay on each of these starter decks on the app, although worth noting, the versions on the app only have about 28 cards rather than 50, plus the 4 Digitama. But, I don't know, it'll give you a nice look at how the decks differ. Now, these decks do actually include 4 Digitama and a ready-to-play 50-card deck. Now, the way the game actually works is you have a 50-card deck and 0 to 5 Digitama. Digitama are your baby Pokemon. I've done a full learn to play. I'll pop that in the description as well. But these basically exist as their own deck in the raising area, and at the beginning of your turn, you may either flip one of your cards into the raising area, hey, new baby Digimon, or if you've evolved that Digimon into at least a level 3, you may move it out. But both of these can only happen at the beginning of your turn, not during the main phase of your turn. So if you buy one of these starter decks, you will have 4 Digitama, so you could put 1 more in your deck, I suppose, and a full 50-card deck. We have not been specifically told that all of these cards are exclusive to the starter decks, but we have seen the numbering, and the numbering makes it extremely clear that these are starter deck cards. I do not expect to see them popping up in boosters later. That is not to say they won't. We've not had official confirmation they're exclusive, but they've got their own starter deck numbers, so you should assume that they are. And we haven't seen anything, well, we've seen like 4 cards from the first expansion, more on them in a moment, but as it stands at the moment, we can expect probably that some of these cards are going to end up being pretty good. I've made absolutely no secret of my love for Seraphimon, who can attack while lowering a Digimon's power 4,000, and if it goes to 0, they end up getting destroyed. That's kind of nuts. And I love the Yellow Tamer that gives all of your security Digimon an extra 2,000 DP. We've got an option card in the red deck that will literally just destroy any Digimon, even if it comes out as a security card. And then we've got a similar one over in the blue deck that puts the highest evolution into your opponent's hand while discarding the rest, and does the same thing if it comes out as an evolution card. Essentially, in each of the decks, you get a bunch of Digimon, including a vanilla level 6 and a non-vanilla level 6. The vanilla level 6s are all identical. The non-vanilla all look pretty good. As well as Seraphimon, we've got Metal Garurumon that can attack and then make itself active straight away, which is kind of dumb. And War Greymon, who for every 2 evolution sources has security attack +1. So if you evolve it all the way up, you're attacking 3 out of 5 security cards at once. That seems pretty good. You also get a few different option cards in each deck. You get 1 Tamer in each deck. But it is important to note that you only get 2 copies of the level 6 with abilities, and maybe others. So my point there is, you need to get, if you want a playset of everything, and bearing in mind if you're not playing in Japan, you probably don't need playsets, but if you want a playset of everything, you need to buy 2 of each of the starter decks. Good job, they're cheap, quite frankly. So to sum up about the starter decks, yes, they're probably necessary. They give you full decks. They give you what we believe are exclusive cards, some of which are very good, but you do need to buy 2 if you want a playset of everything. Now, the first booster expansion we don't know very much about. We know it's called New Evolution, we know it's dropping on the 15th of May, and we have seen exactly 4 cards from it. I made a video about them. I will also pop a link to that in the description. As of this moment, I've been pretty gosh darned extensive with my Digimon coverage. Well, new Digimon TCG coverage. So anything you need to know, please do let me know. And if there's anything I've missed, hit me up in the comments, I'll make it. Otherwise, it's in the description. Now, we don't know too much about this, unfortunately, but we know it's coming on the 15th of May, and we know that there are 115 new cards. There are 115 cards, or different types of cards in the box. Suffice to say, it's going to really shake up the game. If this is anything like every other TCG, what we can expect is an awful lot of new mechanics, really setting up the game, and a good pool to play with just this set. And then we'll get weirder as we go into other games. When I say new mechanics, I mean setting up the game with the core mechanics, not actually shaking things up too much from what we already know. 45 new common, 30 uncommon, 28 rare, 10 super rare, and 2 secret rare. You get 6 cards in a pack, so you can imagine probably 3 common, 2 uncommon, and 1 rare or higher. I don't believe that's been officially announced. I could be wrong about that. I don't believe that's been officially announced. Now, the packs themselves are actually retailing for 180 yen, which is $1.67 or £1.34. Although booster packs in Japan do tend to be quite cheap for games like Pokemon, and it is 6 cards in a booster pack. Still cheaper than in the US, Europe, etc. But then again, we do expect them to be cheaper than in the US, Europe, etc. Japanese booster packs tend to be. Obviously, if you're into the game, you're going to probably want to buy a couple boxes of this. One thing to note is that those 2 secret rares are probably not 1 per box. So you're going to have to do some trading or buying singles if you want to complete the set. I doubt you can just buy 2 boxes and get both the secret rares. They're probably going to be one, and we don't know this, we don't know the pull ratios, these have not been confirmed, but you're probably looking at 1 every 3 or 4 boxes, I would imagine. Again, that is pure guesswork based on other games, so be prepared to trade. Or buy. Now, the other thing we've been shown is that there are 2 different magazines that have promo cards. The current issue of the V-Jump magazine, the cover of which is on the screen right now, does give you a couple of blue promo cards, Garurumon and Garurumon. These are exclusive cards that as of this moment have not been seen elsewhere, and they do have promo numbers, so they could be reprinted in the set, but I would find it extremely unlikely that that would happen. And they're quite nice cards, but they very much need to evolve from each other. Where Garurumon makes itself active once per turn if it evolved from Garurumon, and then Garurumon has an inheritable skill, whereas if the card's got Garurumon in its name, you draw a card. So if it's Were Garurumon, Metal Garurumon, etc. So they very much work like themselves. These aren't necessary promos, but they look pretty good, and I think you should probably pick them up if you get the chance. We've then got Psycho Jump. Now this also has 2 promo cards. These are red ones, and you've got an Agumon and a Greymon here. And again, it is the current version or issue of Psycho Jump, which is on the shelves at the moment. And these cards, again, are pretty good, but they need to evolve from each other. So Agumon's got an inheritable skill that if the name contains Greymon, War Greymon, etc., you get an extra 2,000 power. And Greymon, non-inheritable skill, if it evolved from Agumon, you get security attack +1. I am a big fan of having this Greymon, keeping it as Greymon, and having security attack +1 very early on in the game. Bearing in mind, you can evolve Agumon for nothing, and then Greymon for 2, and for the cost of 2 memory, you've got a 7,000 Digimon with a security attack +1. That seems pretty good. It pigeonholes you into playing the Agumon line rather than letting you experiment with other red Digimon. If you're willing to do it, these are good promo cards to have. Again, a playset of Digimon cards is 4, so do bear in mind you will need to get 4 of each of these pairs of promos if you want to have a playset of everything. I cannot tell you at this early juncture if these cards are going to be good, but I can tell you that they have potential, and they're ones that I would want in my collection. And I need to add a little appendix here, because between finishing this video and actually uploading it, which is today as I sit here, we have had it announced that the July issue of V-Jump magazine, that is 2 months after the first lot of promos, will have other promos in. You're going to be able to pick yourself up a promo version of Veedramon, interestingly enough, the only Veedramon we've seen so far, and a promo version of Taichi, which looks very much like that red tamer, but as a blue tamer, which is a little bit strange. Veedramon then has an inheritable and a non-inheritable skill, which we don't see that often. When you attack, if you've got a blue tamer, discard 3 cards on the top of your deck, and you get plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So you turn yourself into a 7,000 power, which is alright. And when you attack, you may return 3 non-Digi-Egg cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck, and draw a card. So you do discard the top 3 cards of your deck to give yourself an extra 7,000 power, but then after you've evolved, you can get those cards back, and draw a card. As for Taichi, we're talking about a 2-cost blue tamer. If you have a Digimon that contains Veedramon in its name, that is, any Digimon of any level, as long as the name has Veedramon in, you may rest this card and either draw 1 or give one of your Digimon an extra 1,000 power. So, again, I think you probably need a playset of these just in case. They don't look over-the-top, out-and-out redonk stunning, but they are cards you're going to want to have. As always, I've done videos about these. I'll link them in the description. Okay, back to the regular video now. Now, the final thing we've had released is a promo pack, and this is already out. And this has been given out in a bunch of places. It's been free with a Japanese magazine, though not a terribly cheap one. It's been given out when you buy Digimon toys. It's been given out when you're buying booster boxes of another trading card game, which is currently partnering with Digimon. It's been given out in a bunch of different places. And you get 6 cards you can't get elsewhere. You get an Agumon, a Biyomon, a Gabumon, a Gomamon, a Patamon, and a Gatomon. These are all level 3, except weirdly for the Gatomon. And they're all fine. I mean, the Agumon is a very expensive card, but when you play it, you get to destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 or less. So that's very cool. And I do think it's worth just for the Agumon artwork, where he's actually holding a Digimon card. That alone is kind of awesome. Biyomon's got a nice inheritable skill that lets you draw a card when you destroy a Digimon. So that's not too bad. Patamon has recovery +1, which is quite nice. But I don't think any of these are absolute stunning cards which are going to break the metagame. But again, you might want them to build your deck, so trying to get hold of a couple of the promo packs is probably a pretty good idea. We are at that early stage of the game where you probably should try and get everything if possible, but certainly the promo cards you could leave and just get the starter decks and the booster box, and I'm sure you'd be alright. We don't know, we're very early on in the game, but there's nothing we've seen so far that would suggest any of these promos are broken and have to be gotten right now. But it is worth bearing in mind that the general rule of promos like this is that they're going to get rarer and rarer as time goes by. These magazine promos are only out in the magazines. In the not too distant future, those magazines will be off the shelves, and these promos will only get rarer and rarer as time goes by, which is another reason to try and pick them up sooner rather than later. One thing I do need to caution you on as we finish here: please bear in mind that if this game launches in the US, Europe, etc., it is going to happen that we're not going to be allowed to use Japanese cards. So, as cool as these promos are, I'm not 100% convinced that we're going to need them, if that makes sense. Because what's going to happen is that it's going to come out over here and our Japanese cards are going to be unplayable unless we go to Japan and play. Which, incidentally, I am all up for. So there we go. That's a summary of what we've got at the moment, how to get it, etc. I know it seems very early to do a buyer's guide, but I also know that there are a bunch of people out there. The Facebook group is expanding very rapidly, and an awful lot of people are asking very regularly, well, what do I buy? What can we get? What's coming out? Etc. So I thought it was absolutely worth just going through everything here. Hopefully it made sense, but if you've got any other questions, let me know in the comment section, and also let me know what you're planning to pick up in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other games, and please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.